Hello, and welcome to the SMAGcast.
Vagina.
Wait,
Thank
you're
you.
starting already?
Yeah,
Oh, well.
we are the Super Mega Awesome Group. My name is Kevin. I'm a graphic designer and a webcomic artist.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'm a graphic artist as well, and I tell stories.
I am Mike, and I'm a meat popsicle.
I am the Xbox One, and you suck.
All right, good start.
Good start, absolutely.
I failed that.
Yeah.
I'm Calypse and Warren and other words as well.
And Nepal, Sweden.
Not a piece
secret agent.
Dun, dun, dun.
Woo!
Not a piece of shit.
Shit.
So, well, here we are again.
Yeah.
All of us together in the same room this time.
Nice urine sample, Paul.
Yeah, what's up with the urine sample? CO2 control.
Yeah, I bought that for SMAGcast.
Did you
In
get
case anybody wants to know, I bought a 250 millimeter Pyrex beaker today that says CO2 control, and I never cleaned it out. I just put some tea in it, and it looks pretty disgusting.
Oh!
Did you get it at like Gateway or something?
No, there's a place off High Street, close to downtown, that goes into places that are being demolished, and they pull out whatever they can salvage.
Yeah.
And then they sell it. So I'd never been there before. But there's like, old mantles for fireplaces and glass doorknobs and like those old style nails that, have to be hand forged.
Yeah.
We need to go. We need to get together and do that one weekend.
Yeah. No, it's a great place. I mean,
Yeah. We'll have the first SMAGcast field trip.
that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I found several things that would make really good steampunk guns on the off chance that I ever decided to care about steampunk.
That place has to be full of puns.
Yeah.
Oh, he nailed it.
That's true. Actually, we already took care of that today.
Well, we're going to take care of it again because it's not official.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But she's listening.
Well, St. Louise is listening.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, I can't wait for that to come
Yeah.
out. The remastering of a bunch of old soul coughing songs by Mike Doty, the singer.
He's reimagining soul coughing like George Lucas reimagining Star Wars.
Yeah, but not crappy.
Yeah. So, Paul,
English.
how have you been? What's been up in the world of Paul other than buying the CO2 control?
Let's see. I just recently picked up the new Daft Punk album. Finally.
Yeah, I heard the single off that.
Yeah, get lucky.
I wasn't too fond of it.
Really?
Well, the singing, the guy singing.
Oh, yeah, he
just
sings
like-
like 4 songs.
I was like, that just kind of goes against what I'm used to in Daft Punk. Admittedly, I don't listen to a lot of them, so they may have more on that. And other. But I was like, when I think of Daft Punk, I think, electronica and, distorted voices and stuff like that. Their regular singing, I was like, this sounds too much like regular music.
Yeah, a bit. And there's a lot of the times where on the album where there is electronic voices and stuff like that. But what they wanted to do this time, and bear in mind that they're older musicians now, and this is what always happens. So there's a little bit of orchestral stuff.
Well, yeah, and they probably
like November Rain.
probably also helped that they did the Tron Legacy soundtrack, so they did a lot more orchestral stuff with that.
Well,
too.
the stuff they did on Tron Legacy with the orchestral stuff really sounded good.
Oh yeah, but they probably got them a taste of that if they didn't.
I
already.
liked it.
Yeah, but the new album's really good. They wanted to get back to the roots of music, so a lot of the stuff on the album was just recorded live with real instruments, with a little bit of backing from some electronic stuff. So
Okay, so it's like a real actual performance
right,
instead of sequenced.
right.
Okay.
So if you happen to like that kind of stuff, go get it.
Okay.
I think it was like $10 at Target for the album, which is what it is online too. But I prefer physical CDs because I like thumbing through the album art. Cause
I don't anymore because I've lost so many CDs over the years and they go bad in the car.
I've made several albums, the artwork for several CDs, so
yeah,
still has a
I
place for me.
understand.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike, what have you been up to?
Not much really. I could tell Paul about my new schedule.
Okay.
I'm going to be working weekdays now.
Oh, cool.
Day, so, but yeah, something else. We'll be able to start this a little earlier.
Starting next He'll be awake.
Yeah. So yeah, I wonder if I should tell the story about why I got this shift.
Sure.
It'll be vague enough. I don't think anybody will know. So
I got it.
The person I am taking over from is being moved because, for the listeners out there, all three of them, I'm a security guard, and well, anyway, the person didn't stop someone from being assaulted.
Oh.
Were they a slug?
Bad Samaritan.
Well, see, they're at a desk in the building, and someone comes from there's a client waiting for an elevator. Someone comes in from outside, pushes the client down. These are both ladies, by the way.
Okay.
Pushes her down and starts punching her in the head. And
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, the guard basically stood behind the desk and was like, "Stop! Don't do that." Well, obviously it was probably yelling it, but when I was told the story, I had the vision of her just going, "Stop! Don't do that. That's bad."
Oh, why are you doing? What did just stop?
Yeah. So instead of actually getting out from behind the desk, I think that was their big problem is the guard didn't do enough to.
Do y'all have batons or anything?
No.
Well, they're not in the marching band.
Yeah. And by our handbook, we're not supposed to actually, get physical, lay hands on someone. But there's still a lot you can do. I mean, you could, there's two people. You could get between them. You can, if you get in someone's face, they're more likely, they're probably more likely to stop. So, and also,
who was assaulting her, a man or a woman?
Oh, all people involved were women.
Okay. So the power balance was equal.
Yeah, it was not
what you said.
Yeah, there was no.
Well, that's a shame.
But yeah,
but it worked out for Mike. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Thank God for the crazy face beaters.
The only downside though is I'm going to be so bored. Oh God, it's just because I'm going to be.
You can't goof off.
Yeah, I can't do anything. I mean, I only I can probably.
He goofs off.
No, not that I ever.
No. It's just that
ever browse the internet on my laptop or anything. No, I don't do that. But yeah, I won't be able to do anything. I'll be behind the desk from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. surrounded by people coming and going.
Norms.
Warren, what's been up in Calypso land?
Stuff. I've finally gotten some people who are also making conversions for my body replacer for Skyrim. 2 guys, and now a woman has started making body replacers. She's really good. The guys are pretty good. One of them's okay. The other one's pretty good. She's great. She knows exactly what she's doing, except she doesn't know how to use Blender, so she's learning that. Which involves me teaching people how to use Blender. I'm going to start charging at some point.
Good plan.
Yeah.
We just posted a preview of the armor that she's working on, which is one of the vampire armors from the Dawnguard expansion. In the Dawnguard expansion, the vampire armors are for the men. They're like these kind of cool leather vest things with a long sleeve, billowy pirate shirt and visors and shit. For the women, they are a corset type dress.
Now, is this yours or is this the one in the game?
This is the one in the game.
Okay.
One of them is a corset type dress. The other one is a weird open arches boob window thing where you can see the top of both boobs and it's half the boobs.
Yeah, because that's going to protect you in battle.
Right. As a vampire.
Yeah.
My heart's right here, right behind this boob that is almost completely out.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like what the woman's wearing in BioShock?
It's kind of like that, except it has a strip of leather protecting the sternum, but that's about it.
Because that's where the heart is.
Important.
Yeah. Not really. Actually, the heart's right over there.
No, I was being sarcastic.
Yeah. Well, that'll stop a steak.
Yeah. Leather. It's like having...
So she's done a male to female conversion. So now there's a female body shaped version of
the male suit?
The male armor, which actually looks like armor.
Cool.
And it looks really nice. It's got like... It's been pretty popular on Tumblr so far. We are making a story-based mod, and we've got 4 factions at this point. Mm-hmm. And it's sort of the standard RPG thing where you walk in and all the 4 factions have different, goals, and you're there to sort of New Vegas style decide which faction you want to side with, or whether you want to try for a more or for like an alternate path.
Yeah.
That tries to resolve more than one faction's issues at once. Well, I made an evil faction, and I just said, like, well, what if the evil faction just wanted you to kill everybody else on the island?
Yeah.
And it never occurred to me as a guy or as a person who had played Fallout New Vegas that might be incredibly offensive to somebody.
Yeah.
But when I shared it with one of the other team members, they were like, well, fuck you. I don't want to work on this.
Maybe we could scale it back to like 50%.
I was like, wait a second, let's talk about that. Because all I was doing was sort of, structurally just mimicking what I had seen in like games like New Vegas and stuff. I don't know. What do y'all think of that? Like when they give you the evil option, like Caesar's Legion, they're like, here's a people that enslave all their women, and and you can lead them to take over New Vegas.
Yeah, I always think, I play through RPGs like that have multiple arcs to whatever you can do. And the first time through, I always play a good guy. And the second time through, I'm like, I'm going to play a bad guy. And I immediately go to just a slightly worse good guy.
I do the exact same thing.
It doesn't...
I'm a good guy who doesn't play by the rules.
Exactly.
It's the worst I can be in an RPG unless I just blow up Megaton to do it and then just stop playing.
Never blown up Megaton.
I did it one time. I was like, I feel really hollow now.
Yeah.
I did it once and then immediately reloaded because I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah!
Yeah, it's just the bad track never appeals to me. It's like even in Old Republic, I didn't make a Sith character for just because it's like that's a little too.
The other thing I've done is I watched a movie called Misrepresentation, which is about it's about how the media and in general how our culture treats women. And if you watch it and you don't know anything, you might think they're exaggerating. But I mean, like, if you just pay a little, everything they talk about, you've seen.
Yeah.
And
so is Mike.
Right. Yep. And Kevin. I don't know.
What the?
Kevin's a bad person.
I'm a terrible person.
But like in that, like I don't like Sarah Palin. I don't really give a fuck about. I pretty much hate. What's her name? Michelle Bachmann, because I think she is actually kind of crazy. But the way they were treated by the media compared to how men are treated, like Sarah Palin, her Newsweek cover was a sexy lady in workout gear.
Yeah.
So it was like, here's a woman you would like to fuck. And then Michelle Bachmann's Newsweek cover was an insane looking woman, and it's like, here's a crazy bitch.
Yeah.
And you don't get that with any, like, the closest they get to that with males is when they did the O.J. Simpson cover,
Or, what's his name that ran with Romney? Because they had the pictures of him lifting weights.
But that's male power.
True.
That's a little different.
He wasn't in a Speedo.
Yeah, and then you've got, what's his name, the head of the head of the house, that guy that cries a lot. What is his name?
Oh, I can't remember.
He's been on the cover of like 5 magazines.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi, when she was head of the house, never on the cover of a single magazine.
Yeah.
Not once. And all they can talk about is whether or not she's had plastic surgery on her face. All they can think about with Sarah Palin is whether she's gotten her boobs enlarged, and the way they talk about them. Like if a guy says something, they say he addressed the blah blah blah. If a woman says something, they say she complained blah blah blah. And it's just like, this shit is fucked up. Anyway, sorry, I'm going on and on. But I highly recommend you watch it. It's on YouTube. It's called Misrepresentation, and it really shows that sexism is not over.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah,
I mean the Army shows that.
Yeah,
with all the guys who are in charge of teaching people how not to sexually harass other. I almost called them inmates. Soldiers, other soldiers, and then they're in trouble for doing that.
They're in trouble for doing that?
Yeah, the head of the sexual harassment unit or something like that for the Army got busted for sexually harassing some woman in a bar when he was drunk.
Bitch.
And the problem with that is it's up to like the base commanders to decide whether or not something actually goes to trial. They could just look at it and say, no, I don't think that was bad enough for this woman to say she could go to trial and sue this guy who, felt her up or something. Ooh. And I'm just kind of using an extreme imaginary case and didn't actually look into all the cases. But yeah. So right now they're reviewing things in the Pentagon, I believe, to take that power away.
Oh, is this where they're restructuring the military
justice system?
Justice system,
yeah.
But it'll destabilize the military if we take away the power of men in charge to say that, harassing women is not something to be worried about.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Well, at least according to the, old feeble guys who have a lot of stars on their shoulders.
Yeah.
So
Kevin, what's up with you?
Tell us.
I got an abscessed tooth.
I'm sorry. I hear that's horribly painful.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, it's painful sometimes, but most of the time, it's just annoying. Cause it swells up sort of in my cheek.
Yeah.
And I'm not going into details, but I can alleviate that.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
I can drain it. So,
okay, sorry.
But it's starting to get better, but I still have to get it taken care of, which means
it's come back with
this is the second time in a month that this thing's come back.
Oh, yeah.
After antibiotics that caused me severe abdominal distension.
Yeah.
So
antibiotics are horrible.
I know. It was clindamycin. I want to go on record. Anyone listening to this, if they say clinda, they're going to say mycin, and you just say no. I have been doing research. There is no one that has not had side effects from this thing that include diarrhea, nausea, dizziness, confusion, sleep habit change, just tons of side effects. Everybody has it. They're still selling it.
Well, yeah, that's like when I had the flu recently.
Yeah, and have you noticed it's happening with antibiotics a lot? Like your dad.
Yeah, he had a rough time.
He had antibiotics. He got friggin' depressed. Like as he put it, I was almost go out in the woods and shoot myself.
Yeah, that's what that flu drug did to me.
Yeah, and they're still selling this shit, and it's widespread side effects.
Yeah, I have a problem with Zithromax, which is like a big thing, like the Z-Packs and stuff.
See, my problem is I'm allergic to penicillin.
See, I don't have that problem, but
I have to take something that's not penicillin, and the only other thing they're going to be able to give me is something sulfur-based, which means I'm going to smell like bad eggs.
Well,
when they shut up.
Even more so than normal.
Yeah. Shut your mouth.
Well, like the Z-Pack, whenever I took that the first time, I kept noticing that I had a really sore throat. And I looked in my mouth, and I just had like these white bumps all inside of my mouth and down my throat. So I stopped taking it. And the next time I went back, they prescribed it again, and I had the same problem. And then after that, I was like, yeah, do not ever give me Z-Packs again, because that's kind of painful and doesn't look cool.
Yeah. I'm going to have to, tell the dentist when I go down there, which the entire problem is Dentists are expensive, and I hate them.
Yeah.
I'm terrified of dentists.
Yeah.
Always have been. Because they're going in your freaking mouth. I've got a really bad gag reflex.
Yeah.
That leads to another
How does this feel?
Yeah.
Is this all right?
Well, go ahead and I'll tell you about me and dentist.
First off, I had to get insurance.
Yeah.
$32 a month.
That's not bad.
No, decent insurance, dental insurance from Humana.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's like they cover 20% the first year, 30 or 40% the second year, and 50% the third year.
Yeah, don't they give like that safe driver bonus too?
Yeah, that's what they know. The point and preventative
put like
stuff.
a little recorder in your mouth and see what you eat.
Yeah.
And adjust your insurance based on that.
Yeah, flow's gonna come out. But no,
She's getting kind of fat now. We're going to have to call her Heavy Flow.
I was trying to think of a joke for that, and just nothing came to mind.
Yeah.
But the point is, the preventative stuff is free. They cover 100% of that.
Okay.
Up to $1,000 in a year.
So, like what? Like you get a pack of Trident every week?
Yeah, probably. But they also said that they have like a $50 deductible.
Okay.
There's a dentist. You're going to get more than $50 paid in your first visit.
Yeah.
Because it is, in fact, a dentist.
Yeah.
But before we get to your story about dentists, Mike, I'm reminding you so you don't forget. Because I got to tell you about this. The last dentist I went to for a cleaning, just before we went to Disney World, I lost that tooth they had worked on.
Yeah.
They gave me a cleaning.
Did you like lose it in Disney World?
Yeah.
Yeah, it shattered. While the first night. You remember when I got drunk? That's why I got drunk. I had the tooth shatter and the filling was still there.
Ow.
The filling was more strong than the tooth.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel a thing. I was just like, what is it? That's my freaking tooth. Okay, I need a drink. But
Yeah, this is going to be bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I went in for the cleaning and the woman said, okay, hook me up with the gas. Oh no, we're not using the gas. You're not? Oh no, I use these, what was the term she used? What's
Torture
another
devices?
No, what's the term for hippie bullshit?
Oh, homeopathic?
No, that's if they like put a drop of morphine into the ocean and then gave you a cup of seawater.
Did you try to use like some sort of auditory painkiller or some bullshit?
No, it was like,
You'll be okay.
what's the stuff where they use scented oils?
Oh, the aromatherapy.
Aromatherapy. She wanted to use she used aromatherapy. And she's like, and I swear, if you just breathe through your nose and do like this, you'll never need the gas again. Halfway through the cleaning, sir, I need you to unclench your teeth. You're about to bite my finger off.
Yeah.
And
Needs more patchouli.
yeah, I was like, woman, I warned you.
Yeah. So my dentist thing, the reason I don't like dentists is the only time. Okay, so when I was a teenager, I had one tooth that was getting a cavity. Actually, it's like half gone. So my dad takes me to the dentist, and all through it happening, it was like it hurt a little bit, but it wasn't. It didn't hurt that bad. So he takes me to the dentist, and I get a crown.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like
for like the next 2 weeks, it was like the most intense pain ever. Well, not ever. I've had worse pain since then. But up until, this was at like 16 or 17. Up until then, I hadn't felt... And like I said before, it didn't really hurt. I mean, even when the tooth broke, it was like, that kind of was not cool. But then afterwards, it hurt like 10 times more than it ever did.
They're not supposed to do that. Did he take you to Dr. Mengele or something?
I mean, it didn't hurt when he was doing it because, it was all...
Yeah, I know, but they normally don't hurt afterwards, do they?
But afterwards, it just hurt. I mean, and after that, I was like, fuck that shit.
Was it made of pain? Metallic pain, perhaps?
I still have it, though. Still have it.
Yeah. I had it mounted on the wall. No.
Thanks to the deer head.
But it was just, obviously not every dentist is going to be like that. That guy probably was terrible, I think I found out
Is
later.
that Doctor
he was like,
from The Simpsons?
I think he was like disbarred or something for taking his own
You
painkillers.
can't be disbarred.
Well, not
That's
disbarred, but lost his license.
for
Yeah, okay, yeah. He's been disbarred as a dentist for practicing law.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jeez.
Yeah, years ago when I had my wisdom teeth out.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You with the big ice packs.
Yeah, so I went in and they're like, okay, and they gave me the IV thing, and I look over and I was like, oh, it's a nice painting on the wall. It's a little bit blurry. I'm in a wheelchair talking to some nurse who apparently I've been talking to for the last 20 minutes. And when my wife at the time comes in to get me, I start standing up. I was like, yeah, let's go. All right. And they're like, sir, sit down. Just please. No, you're still under the effects. But they gave me a prescription to like Percocet or Percodan, some prescription strength narcotic. And they're like, he's just going to sleep all day. And I had the surgery done at like 9 o'clock in the morning. But a lot of things work backwards with me.
It's like my mom.
Well, yeah, but she's dead.
Yeah. So are you. You
I
just
know.
haven't stopped.
Exactly.
No, continue.
So, I took the painkiller and I felt a lot better. But around 9 o'clock that night, I looked at my wife and I was like, hey, let's go to Blockbuster. I'd hit some movies and some games. Because I'm so wired right now. And at 4:15 the next morning, I was like, I should probably go lay down. I don't want to, but I don't think I'm going to take this medicine anymore. I'll just take a whole bunch of ibuprofen. That'll be a lot better because I'm fucking wired.
Okay, I've got a couple of stories about me and painkillers and or anesthetic.
Yeah.
I remember they gave me an anesthetic when they were checking my ulcer. They gave me, that, endoscopy, whatever, where they stick a friggin' camera down your throat to look in your stomach.
Yeah. That's also called torture.
Yes. Well, they put me under and did that.
Better than the other end, I guess.
I've had that, too.
They should go in both ends and just meet in the middle like the railroad.
What is this, human centipede with
finger cuffs?
No, it's the railroad.
Oh, God.
When I was in Korea, not Kevin. Hosik,
Damn right.
Hosik went for his checkup because it's so cheap in Korea.
Yeah.
And because he didn't want me to have to wait, he didn't take the anesthetic or the whatever he didn't take the put me to sleep thing.
Yeah.
To get an endoscopy and a whatever the other one
colonoscopy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I was like, dear God, man, just send me somewhere.
Yeah. Give me a magazine. I'll be fine.
I don't need to know you just got fucking violated wide awake.
Yeah.
Both ends.
So,
deep and hard.
how loud was the screaming? No.
Yeah, about that level of shit.
Here's the thing. They did the thing. They put the camera down my throat, and I wake up in mid-sentence, kind of like you, talking to some... I hope she was a very nice girl in the bed next to me in the recovery area.
Yeah.
And her and all the nurses are just giggling. I wake up and I'm like... And one goes, "You're awake now?" I was like, "What the fuck did I just say?" I never found out. I have no idea what I was saying that had everyone giggling. But
It turns out Kevin is the world's greatest player, but only when under anesthetic.
And then there's... You remember the last time I had an abscess tooth, Mike, and they gave me that hydrocodone?
No, but okay.
And you came over to make sure I didn't do anything stupid?
I remember you being all... I tried to steal that hydrocodone.
No, this is a different time. This is years ago.
Oh.
You played Battlefield 1942 the whole time you were over.
Okay.
I was in bed and Dune was on.
The original.
Yeah.
The original Dune.
That time. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm laying there.
Just rolling in bed.
I'm rolling in bed. And I'm like living the movie as it's happening. And I thought I was saying, "Mike, change the fucking channel."
But no, he was just going,
Yeah. I apparently I said, Mike, change the fucking channel in my head, and what came out was,
Yeah, see, you know, I was playing games because Kevin was not fit company. I mean, I wanted to be there so he wouldn't, you know,
freak out or
yeah.
Now, well, the thing is, the next day when you weren't there, I punched myself in the fucking jaw.
Nice. But tell about the guys.
Oh, that was a different time.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the same time.
Yeah, that was. I was in bed. That was when they gave me the hydrocodone for my back.
Okay.
And I was laying there in bed. I was like, uh-oh, here come those guys again. And I was just really... And, like, I was having a nightmare one night that there were these demonic bat things beating their wings in my face, and I woke up, I was slapping myself slightly. Just, oh, God, what am I doing? And, oh, God. This is why I don't need medication.
Yeah.
I'm way too entertaining for other people.
Absolutely. We're going to get Kevin really messed up and have fun.
So concludes Drug Chat, unless anyone else has other stories.
Thank you for watching The Doctors on NBC. We'll be back next week. And
I'll just say that when I got my wisdom teeth taken out, they gave me something like Lorcet or Percocet, one of those fantastic painkillers.
Yeah.
And I went home and started telling my mom that I don't really like marijuana. I really kind of prefer alcohol because it just makes me feel better. Marijuana just makes me sleepy. And
oh,
and I'm like, no!
You're conscious in the back of your head.
Shut up!
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up! And Mom's just like, okay.
Why don't I have a tape recorder right now?
Yeah. I do love watching those videos on YouTube of people under anesthetic.
I love that kid.
Oh, yeah, the kids.
Yeah,
in the van.
It's great. There was another one that was pretty funny. There was just a guy laid out on the bed, and he was driving. In his head, he was shifting, and he was just going... He was, I mean, full on just shifting with his right hand, driving with his left. His feet were working.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who are obviously under the influence of something,
Let's talk about marketing.
how about those guys that were on Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares?
Oh, the
people in Arizona?
yeah, who went to Facebook to make everything worse.
Those people, the self-destructos.
Oh, yeah. The current popular theory is it's the whole thing. It's kind of like America's Diner. We think it's a front for money laundering.
Methamphetamine.
Yeah.
So this timeline you found us.
Yeah. All right. So, Amy's Baking Company.
Yeah.
It's a restaurant in Scottsdale, Arizona. They opened in 2008. The two people who run it are Sammy and his wife Amy. Amy's the cook. Sammy,
air quotes,
cook. Well, she is a cook. She does cook.
Okay.
Even if badly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and from all accounts, she doesn't cook terribly. I mean, it's not like it's inedible.
Yeah.
We'll get to more about that later. But she can cook. She's not super great. Not
she's not inept.
She's not trained. She had gone to culinary school.
Okay.
So apparently, Sammy, who did real estate somehow.
Yeah.
Before this, invested $1 million, which they bring up a lot in the. I guess I should say this. Everyone should watch this. It's been on YouTube. You can find the whole episode on YouTube. It's the most recent aired Kitchen Nightmares. It's like the last one of the current season.
Okay.
But it is. I have a problem watching some things. Where it makes you feel uncomfortable. You're like, oh God, why are they doing that? I had to stop it several times, but then almost immediately was like, I gotta see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Just they are crazy.
I think the term you're looking for is batshit insane.
So, So it's been open since 2008. Had to reopen in 2009 because Amy had medical problems, air quotes on the medical problems, because apparently it turns out it was prison.
Oh.
Prison is now a medical condition.
Yeah. I did not know that.
It's not covered by HMOs.
So that's the backstory. So the whole crazy starts out in 2010, I think it was.
Okay.
A Yelp user comes in by the name of Joel L. He was unsatisfied with his meal and posted a mildly negative review on Yelp about it. It wasn't scathing. It wasn't, super terrible. I can't, I don't have it here, but I have read the review. It was like, the service took too long. The food was subpar, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Almost immediately, Amy writes a response to the Yelp review on Yelp.
Oh, God.
And just, rips this guy a new asshole.
But she probably couldn't cook.
Yeah, saying she understands why he was alone there on a Saturday night.
Wow. Going after his character.
Such choice lines as, perhaps your palate is not sophisticated enough to tell the difference. As for having the patio all to yourself, unless you've been living on another planet, capitalized, it's summertime in Arizona, moron. Just random caps everywhere.
Yeah.
Only tramps and losers want to sit outside in 110-degree temperature.
Cocaine.
Yeah.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
So,
that's... Yeah, if I would have read a response to any place like that, I would have been... Yeah, I'm never going there again.
Yeah. But she not only, has this negative review, she starts, cyber stalking him and emailing him and just basically crazy. So, apparently it gets worse because they're also, when people have, because she's the only cook there. She has, someone that sort of helps, but it's not really a sous chef.
Yeah.
It's a food runner that, helps her in the kitchen when they're busy, but she still cooks everything. So all the food takes a long time.
Yeah.
So when people naturally start complaining about the wait time, they get thrown out. They just throw them the fuck out. So through all their craziness, the reviews start mounting.
Sure.
So
you're thrown out.
So Kitchen Nightmares goes to Yelp and say, okay, we're looking for a restaurant in the Scottsdale area.
Yeah.
Who needs help? And they unanimously say Amy's Baking Company.
Yeah.
So in December of 2012, they go there and they film the episode. They don't even get to finish the episode.
Really?
You know how these things have a structure where, Gordon comes in, he talks to the people, finds out what they're, what they think the problem is.
Yeah.
He samples their menu. And the next day they do a full service run so he can see how it flows.
Right.
And then after that, he starts taking steps. He sits down with them and says, this is what we need to do. And then they have a, service run under the new system.
Yeah.
Well, they get through the first couple of steps, but after the first full service run where he saw what the real problems were, he sits down with them. And, it's been starting to get crazy up through then. There was problems all during the service.
Yeah.
They threw a guy, a customer that's sitting there on camera comes and says, I've been waiting for my pizza for an hour. What's the holdup? Not in any kind of confrontational or adversarial way, just pretty much how I just said it right now. And Sammy goes, get the fuck out. Just... You pay and get the fuck out. It's like, pay for what? I didn't get my food.
Yeah.
It's like, you pay and get out, or we call or actually Amy said, you pay and get out, or we're calling the police. And then Sam was like, no, don't call the police.
Don't find the drugs.
Yeah, so the next day, when Ramsey sits down with him, he's like, Amy cannot take criticism.
Apparently.
You say, he tried to tell her there were some things wrong with her dishes. No, she literally says she is God's gift to cooking. Or God gave her the gift of cooking.
Tell them about where she gets this gift of cooking.
Well, God gave it to her.
The frozen stuff.
What do you mean? I mean, yeah, I mean
the pre-purchase stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean
that she claims
that's another problem that Gordon had with that was that they say all their stuff is made fresh.
Yeah,
but it's not. Like they say they make their pizza dough fresh and their ravioli fresh and all that, but it's not
all store bought.
They claim frozen. That when he found that the ravioli was frozen, they said, "Oh, we didn't have time to prep the ravioli, so we just used frozen, for that one time."
Yeah,
sure. But, yeah, sure. But anyway, so at that point, Gordon was like, "I'm done."
Yeah.
He walked out on him. didn't even start to implement any changes.
Yeah.
So here they are. They're adversarial to customers. They're lying about their menu ingredients.
Yeah.
They have one of the big draws they have is they have a case of cakes and pastries that she makes herself. Air quotes makes herself because looking at her kitchen in the episode, it's tiny. I mean, it is small, and then people that know their shit about baking commercially says there's no way in hell, unless that kitchen is like the TARDIS and 10 times bigger.
Yeah.
Through that, through the backside, there's no way they can make all those desserts. They treat their staff like shit, obviously.
Tell them about the tips.
Through 1 year, they went through 100 wait staff.
Wow,
and they kept their tips.
Yeah,
really.
And they're not waiters or waitresses; they call them food runners because Sammy won't let him use the point of sale system.
Okay.
He inputs all the orders himself
and
cashes them all out.
Yeah, what does that say?
And so he uses that to justify the fact that they shouldn't get tips.
That's just wrong.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
And there's been some speculation that it sounds a lot like a money laundering scheme.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah. Now,
no, he doesn't want anyone to see the books.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole process of deporting the guy.
Yeah, it's come to light that Sammy, whose family is Moroccan, but he's an Israeli citizen, has been thrown out of Germany and France for drug-related charges.
Yeah.
And apparently did not disclose this on his visa application. So for the last couple of years, he's been going through deportation hearings.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's banned from Germany and France.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
So, it's just a whole bucket of crazy.
Tell him the funny thing about if he does get deported.
Well, the funny thing is about him being deported is that he's an Israeli citizen, so he'd have to go back to Israel.
Yeah.
But Israel doesn't recognize overseas marriages. So Amy can't come with him.
Ah.
Him yelling at Gordon saying, "You don't want to fuck with me, I'm a gangster"?
Yeah, that was...
Was he Little Wayne?
No, like gangster.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like a mobster.
Ah. There's several things.
Drug running, possible money laundering. Oh, I don't know. Maybe he is.
That could be.
The fact that apparently the type of real estate he was in is prone to money laundering and... flipping new homes and stuff like that.
The grand reopening.
But yeah, they had their grand reopening last week. After the Gordon Ramsay episode aired, they pretty much shut down because negative feedback and press. They fired everybody and shut down.
Yeah.
And so that was like 3 weeks ago. Last week they had their grand reopening. They rehired a bunch of people. Part of the condition of employment was you have never seen that episode.
Ah, yeah, okay.
You had to sign, agreements. And actually the people that were going in there just to eat had to sign a release because they were filming themselves. They had a camera crew of their own.
Yeah. They also had security.
Yeah, they had security.
Keep people out.
They had like 3 security guards. Scottsdale PD had at least 1 or 2 officers there on site. But one of the things is they hired some woman to do PR for them. See, okay, they hired a PR firm almost immediately after the Ramsey debacle. 2 days later, that PR firm dropped them.
Yeah. I bet.
And then, so they hired some woman to do PR so apparently she's been on MSNBC and stuff. She's trying to be like an anchor or something.
Okay.
But she also does PR. And they had her in there, and she was tweeting the whole time, talking about, if I catch people tweeting, I'm going to throw them out. But strangely enough, there was this one couple in there who were live blogging and tweeting the whole time, and the owner seemed to be really friendly with them. And they were being very positive the whole time.
Yeah.
Oddly.
Yeah.
But you're the only ones allowed to tweet. That's not suspicious at all.
Yeah.
The whole thing was just...
But yeah, it's just
the
crazy.
whole situation's crazed.
Yeah.
And the episode is well worth watching just for because I've only barely scratched the surface about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to watch it sometime.
Probably
Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do we take away from this? The cake is a lie.
Yeah.
Bravo for using a several-year-old meme, sir. Warren, you got some other stuff you wanted to talk about, didn't you?
Well, okay, I found out this week that apparently marketing is even more evil than I thought.
Oh, really?
Okay, BioShock Infinite, there's a major central character who is a female, who you meet early on, who was put on the back of the box, not on the front, specifically to turn off female gamers, because they don't want to have to market to female gamers. Apparently that's how marketing works, is if you choose your demographic and you market to them and you turn off other demographics, because if you accidentally attract other demographics, then you have to split your marketing. And then that demographic that comes in has different desires than the demographic that you're already aiming at.
Yeah.
And so you might end up having to dilute your product in such a way that it turns off your previous demographic. So they do things like to intentionally turn off women when they're marketing games.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know what I hate to say is I actually learned that in school. That was like part of my education.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've never done it, but, I know it happens, and I leared about it, and I know that's how they think, so I don't know. I'm not going to apologize on behalf of the marketing industry, but...
That really doesn't make much sense. It's like if you just have a marketing campaign out there,
it's all got to do with target demographics.
Yeah, I know, but it just sounds kind of bullshit, because if you have a marketing campaign out there, without specifically trying to alienate any segment, say you just have a marketing campaign, and you happen to attract people not in your segment, what's the big deal? I mean, even if you're not targeting them, why go out of your way to alienate them?
Because you're fucking with the formula.
Well, yeah, it just sounds like marketing bullshit for the sake of having marketing bullshit.
No, the way I kind of look at it, coming from a marketing sort of background, with graphic design and all that stuff, if you got 90% of your fan base is one particular way, and then 10% comes along and it's like, we like it too, but we would like some changes. And if you start implementing just a few changes for that 10%, you might lose 20% of your 90%.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is you have your marketing strategy set out. You devise your plan, and you implement it. And you say you get extra, unintended audience.
Yeah.
Don't change anything. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't try to alienate them, but don't cater to them either. I mean, if they came on just from your original push, obviously they like something about it. And if they stay on, if you keep doing what you're doing and they stay on, okay, that's good. But if they, if they don't get their changes, then it's no sweat off your back if they leave.
Now, what you're saying makes sense to you. It made sense to me.
That's what I'm saying.
This is a completely different culture of people.
That's what I'm saying. It's marketing bullshit for the sake of marketing bullshit.
You don't look at it as a profession. I don't look at, marketing or advertising or anything as professions. I look at them as tribes.
Well, yeah.
Because they seriously have, and it referenced in our books, marketing culture.
Yeah.
That's why I'm marketing.
You're calling it marketing culture. I'm calling marketing bullshit.
Nonetheless, the point is, they're not going to listen to anyone outside of that culture.
Yeah.
Because they know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing air quotes. They know what we want.
And they know what the market wants.
EA.
But that's what I'm saying. It's...
here's a good example of demographics. Star Trek Into Darkness.
Con harder.
Shut up. The target demographic is 18 to 35-year-old males.
Yeah.
White males.
White males.
Oh,
yes,
no.
I'm sorry.
Like it.
Oh, no.
Now,
3 of us are out of that demographic.
Well, that's the thing. The reason the movie hasn't done as well... It's doing okay. It's not doing terribly, but it's not pulling in the numbers they thought it would. It's because the target audience isn't going to see it. The audience that's going to see it is Star Trek fans, which are typically in your, I don't know, say 35 to 60 to 70-year-old range.
Yeah.
That's where the ticket sales are coming from for this movie. And there's not as many of them going to see it as there are 18 to 35-year-olds out there.
Well, I had somebody ask me if I liked the movie, and I asked them if they liked Star Trek. And they're like, well, I didn't really watch it. I said, well, then you're going to enjoy the movie.
Well, I liked Star Trek. I liked The Next Generation. I liked DS9. We're not going to talk about Voyager or Enterprise.
Yeah.
I liked the new
aspects
movie.
of Voyager and Enterprise, but not as a whole.
I liked when Mike Nelson turned into Janeway, but no.
I like when you enter transwarp and turn into a salamander.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was the stupidest thing. That is why Rick Berman should not be allowed near Star Trek.
They've gone to plaid.
No, they've gone to...
Okay, so I've got a story. It's story time, kiddies.
Yay!
So I have Comcast, and I know a lot of people are going to say, Uverse, at the end of this.
Uverse.
I'm kind of leaning towards that. So, Comcast called me like a week ago and said, hey, for $5 more a month, right now you're at 15 meg download speed.
Oh, yeah, you talked about this on the last one.
Yeah, but there's more.
Oh, okay.
In case somebody didn't listen to the last one.
Oh.
All right, so they said for $5, you can get 50 meg download speed and free basic cable and HBO for a year. And I said, can you get rid of the television and give me $5 off? But that didn't fly. So now I have a cable box I don't really use ever. So I called them up and I was like, all right, is it ready? Is it going? They're like, yeah, let's do this thing. Okay, yeah, so you should be up. Your download speed should be a lot better than it was. And I was like, oh, okay, awesome. So I go to YouTube and I'm like, oh, look, I still got a buffer. Oh, I can't watch YouTube very well. So I run a couple of speed tests. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Maybe Comcast has a speed test because if I call them, they'll just say, well, you didn't use ours. So use theirs. I'm getting 3.5 megs down.
Jesus.
What?
Yeah. So I call Comcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to some guy in India named Barry. But he pronounced it very
Sounds
strange.
legit.
Yeah. He's like, hello, and I'm Barry. Like, not really, but okay. So he walks me through a couple of things, basically, reading from his little predetermined text thing. Sends a refresh signal to the modem. Says, okay, you gotta wait 15 minutes and the speed will be increased. It's like, all right, no problem. I can do that. I can kill 15 minutes.
Was it right around shift change?
I don't know what time it was in India. So I wait 15 minutes and I run the speed test again. And yes, it was faster. I'd gone from 3.5 to 4.
Fuck.
And oddly enough, I had a 10 meg upload. Which...
That's fucked up.
Uploads always like
half or
a quarter. Yeah. Like a fraction. So I'm like, well, that's not right.
Nope.
So I call him back the next day. I was like, okay, here's what happened. And the guy is very nice. I get somebody whose name actually could be Barry this time. And he walks me through a couple of things, and he sends a refresh signal to the modem. And then I just don't have internet.
Oh, nice.
And the guy's like, so we could send somebody out Tuesday. I was like, well, okay, so I'm just going to be without internet for more than half a week. It's like, yeah. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No.
It's like, well, I don't have internet, so how much is coming off my bill for this? He goes, well, I mean, yeah, we'll give you this. Oh, look, something opened up on Friday.
Oh, God.
So, and I had just enough speed. I was pulling down like a quarter to half a meg, but it was just enough speed so that Windows was like, yeah, you're connected. Couldn't go anywhere online.
Obviously, yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why I don't have any stories to talk about this week for SMAGcast. So, I get off work early that Friday, yesterday, go home, sit around, realize that at that time MASH is on TV, so I was like, yay! Justification for cable again. I like MASH.
Who doesn't?
About 4... The guy's supposed to be there between 3 and 5. About 4:57, I call Comcast, and I'm trying to get through. So I'm just spamming the pound key because I read online that's like a DDoS attack for their system, and it just forces you through to an operator.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
I frequently just hit O when I'm in those menus.
Yeah, but apparently pound symbol works better. So I'm just doing that like pound, 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 you know, like. So the system goes, hold on, wait, transferring you. You can get Comcast phone line. Transferring. And then the phone rings, somebody picks up and hangs up. So I start calling back about that time, doorbell. I was like, oh good, the guy got here with like 10 seconds to spare. Comes inside, he's got his little tricorder or whatever it is. He's like, well, you're getting signal. I was like, you're not actually connected to anything, but if you say so. So he looks at it, he's like, oh, I think you got a bad modem. I was like, well, that will be the 4th time, Comcast. So he goes out to his truck, comes back in with another modem, same brand, everything. Plugs it up, runs some tests, unplugs it, tests the line. Line's fine. I had a bad modem on my truck. I can't believe they gave me a bad modem at the warehouse. I'm like, well, they give bad modems everywhere.
You are not immune.
No. So he called another service tech that happened to be in the area.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Who brought another modem. Different brand. Doesn't really matter. Plugs it up. He goes, okay, I got to call Comcast because technically this is not the modem that was on my truck. And I can't actually activate it. So he calls Comcast, which if you've ever done that, you should know it takes a very long time. Apparently for their service techs as well.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he finally gets it up, and it starts working. And I'm supposed to be getting 50 meg download speed. I was pulling 70. So I'm pulling down 70 megs a second. The tech's like, that's better than what I get at home. I was like, that's a lot better than the 3.5 I got before. So, you know, I was supposed to go out that night, and I was like, but now I can actually watch YouTube. So I watched like 1 or 2 little quick things and left the house. No big deal. Come back. And ran speed test again. And I was pulling down 90.
Are you like sitting there going, just calm down.
Don't fuck up.
Don't explode.
Yeah. So earlier today, go out, do a couple things, come back. I don't have internet. So I call Comcast and get them to send a refresh signal. Or I do it manually from their keypad thing, whatever. And that didn't work. So I called them up and I talked to some lady whose name obviously was not Barry. And she sends a refresh signal to the modem and stuff, and it starts working again. So, the last speed test I did, I was pulling down 122 megs a second.
fuck?
I don't know.
Getting...
Apparently Comcast said, well, we've screwed up so many times in the past.
There was a blockage, and then all the speed came through.
All the internets came at once.
And then it gets choked up again, and they unstop it, and it floods back into your modem.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, well, let's test this out, because I couldn't watch YouTube before, so I load up a 20-minute Let's Play at 180p, and the whole thing buffers in like 4 seconds. I was like, even if I lose internet the next 20 minutes, I at least have this. So when I go home, I don't know if I'll have internet, or if I'll have to talk to some woman named Barry again.
I need your Wi-Fi password so that I can just pull up to your house and download shit.
I think we should all just ride in Warren's car and bring our
I get
mobile
50 at home,
devices.
so it's not that big a
Yeah,
deal.
fuck you. Okay, 8. Here, I'm at like...
But I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. I think I'm at like 12 or 15 or somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But I'm on, I'm on a different thing. I'm on Uverse.
Yeah.
And I got like the second tier of service for internet.
Yeah. And how much is that?
A month for the whole thing is $140 something. And that's internet, phone, cable.
Okay.
And it's nice so far. I mean, I can watch, YouTube videos at decent speed now.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of weird and not having... That's the other thing, is I'll be watching cable, and nothing will go wrong. I'm really happy with Uverse so far, It's also kind of funny when the phone rings and who's calling pops up on the screen and scares the shit out of my dad.
The first time that happened when I was at your house was like, the phone rings and I'm seeing the TV, and I don't read what it says, but I see something pop up, I'm like, and I look at it, it says, so-and-so is calling, I'm like, okay.
They're calling on my TV.
Well, see, it's all coming through this one big honking modem in the living room.
Yeah, he has... It's not just a modem. It is some, piece of equipment. They actually had to put a battery backup on it because it takes half an hour to boot.
Yeah.
It requires signal.
Wow.
So you can't, power sags can't, take it out.
That's
But yeah, it's some combination signal receiver.
Yeah, the phones run from it, the cable runs from it, and my internet runs from it.
And it's got apparently a dedicated wireless to run cable boxes.
Because my cable box in my room is wireless.
Because it's Wi-Fi, regular Wi-Fi, and wireless cable boxes.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
See, that sounds awesome, but then I would lose a story a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can. I'm sure you can find something else.
Yeah.
Well, and
Well, if it stays at 122 meg download, I'm not switching. I'll just call them every day and go, Barry, send a refresh signal.
Yeah.
It gets
so
you end up with 30 gigs per second.
Probably.
See, my thing is,
I'm going to be a pirate.
I had this when I used to call Comcast. They would have the wrong script in front of them. Mm-hmm. So I'd be talking to a woman named Frank.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Because she didn't know.
Yeah. They just, hello, my name is Frank.
Like every time y'all tell these stories, I always say, well, I have Comcast and never had a problem. I've always had good speeds, and the only, maybe once a week at 3 a.m. the internet will go out for half an hour because that's when they're doing maintenance or something.
Yeah, see, us, it was just down.
See, we don't have that many problems. My parents change service providers regularly because my mom stays at home and watches TV all the time.
Yeah.
And if she ever sees anything happen or has any trouble with the menu, she starts hating the service.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, if a channel goes down for a second, she has to change the channel and go back. Suddenly, AT&T is flaky, and she's tired of their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, your dad was telling me about that.
All right, Mike had another story.
Yeah, well, it's not so much a story, but something I noticed. So, I read a story a couple of weeks ago about the creator of the GIF. He, set in stone the pronunciation of it. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I read it, was like, oh, that's pretty, This is like a month ago. And all of a sudden, within this last week, it's like exploded for some reason. I've seen it everywhere.
Yeah, every few years, the GIF argument resurges.
GIF because it starts with a G.
Yeah, so does gibberish.
So does G. G.
That's true.
The letter
so does
G.
It's not a giraffe, is it?
And Jeffrum or Jeffrey.
Well, one of the problems people have is that it stands for graphic.
Yeah, no, that's one of the arguments.
No, it stands for Jaffic.
Yeah, it's Jaffic. I'm a Jaffic artist.
I'm a giraffic artist.
I'm a sapphic artist.
But yeah, just something I noticed like in the last couple of days.
Yeah, that thing with the Frogman where he punched himself in the animated GIF.
Yeah, there was that. And there was something on 9gag.
It's his picture. You know who the Frogman is, right?
The guy with the bear hat?
He is a large fellow with a bear hat.
And a beard.
Oh, I thought this was like a boss guy from Mega Man.
No, Frogman's it's his user.
I think it'd be Bear Man. Why does he have a frog hat?
Well, if he was Bear Man, he'd be a large, hairy gay guy.
Yeah, but he's been Frogman for like 20 years.
I'm still saying.
But he's sitting there. It's a split screen thing. It says, this Frogman pronounces it GIF, like the peanut butter. This Frogman, the other one, is tired of this godforsaken argument. And then he punches the other one and he falls out of the chair.
Yeah, he punches himself in the split screen.
He punches
really
through
well
the
done.
Yeah, punches himself on the other side of the split screen and knocks him out.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a GIF.
Yeah.
We're setting that in stone because we are the internet law. Because we are the
we
Super
don't have
Mega
any
awesome
internet
group.
authority.
Yeah, we do. We're the Super Mega Awesome group, and we gave it to ourselves.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
No. Okay. You had your GIF. You had another thing? Because I got nothing this week, and neither does Paul.
Nah.
I don't know. This is sort of in line with everything else I've talked about. In that movie Misrepresentation, they talked about a stereotype in movies where they're like, oh, well, these are empowered women because they are, they fight and they blow shit up and da-da-da.
Yeah, like Black Widow.
Yeah. But the problem with that is they usually fall into this trope area of fighting fuck toy.
Yeah.
Because
like Black Widow.
Yeah. But I don't really want to talk about that necessarily because you can pick that out yourself. But I did notice a trend. It sort of alerted me of this trend that I have certain friends who will send me pictures of women doing badass things, and I'll be like, "Wow, that's really cool. She's great." And then they'll be like, "I would so fuck the shit out of her," and I'm like,
maybe you should send them a picture of Marie Curie.
I'll send them a picture of whoever that girl
or like
Margaret has talent.
Or like Margaret Thatcher. She was awesome.
Yeah.
On a slight aside from what you said, it's just kind of funny and won't take very long. I was in this place that reclaims building parts and stuff, and there was a box that said Reaganomics, and I opened it, it was empty.
Should have bought the box.
Thought about it.
All
right, anyway, Warren.
This is everything that trickled down.
This is what we call
it's
something...
full of hope.
This is something we call DOO economics. Anyone? Anyone? Voodoo economics.
Speaking of economics, Yahoo bought Tumblr this week.
Yeah, and it's at the porn can stay.
For, was it like $1.5 billion?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I've never seen an ad in my life on Tumblr.
No.
I don't know what they're buying exactly.
No,
a user base.
Well, here's the thing.
A young
they bought
user
it
base.
and the guy who ran Tumblr, they were on the board, or the people, that were under him were always like, shouldn't we do something to try to, I don't know, generate revenue or something?
Nah.
And he was like, I don't care about making money.
Yeah, until they waive $1 billion plus dollars. The thing that strikes me about this, though, isn't so much that they bought it, isn't why they bought it. It's that how the hell does Yahoo have $1.5 billion in cash?
Well, it's supposed to be $1.1 billion.
1.1. Okay, over
still,
$1 billion.
Yeah.
It wasn't a stock and anything. It was pure cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't know they had that much fucking
they're
money.
They're obviously not spending it to fix the shit they already have.
I know where they got it from. It was from their front company in Ireland.
that's
Like
how
Apple.
they save on.
No, see, I was thinking they got it from their front company, Amy's Baked Goods in Arizona.
Yeah,
and
and of course they do this after how long ago they bought Flickr,
and they fucked that up pretty good.
Yeah.
Have you read about the shit that they did that killed it? Like the whole, you can no longer use your Flickr ID. You have to have a Yahoo ID. They pretty much killed the Flickr.
But then again,
community.
they did learn a lot of lessons from it. And they've reverted a lot of their their problems.
Yeah, they gave it to a new Flickr group that's remarkably similar to the old Flickr group that founded the company.
Yeah,
and
also,
the thing is, Yahoo got obsessed with the idea of beating Google instead of trying to do anything unique. Flickr was kind of like one of the early social media ideas because of the community. And they just said, fuck that. We just want the index. We just want the fucking pictures. Yeah. The tagged pictures.
Yeah.
And now we're going to try to beat Google. And that's all they ever do is just try to play catch-up.
They should just buy DeviantArt if they want a community.
No. Nobody wants to do that.
That would be like...
You can buy us.
I can't think of an equivalent there. It's just not
good. Well, sure. It's kind of like buying 4chan.
Yeah. I think it'd be better to buy 4chan. I don't know, 4chan...
And we promise you can keep the tentacle porn.
I've heard more, good and success out of... 4chan than I have DeviantArt.
Yeah,
we never did get to the Xbox, the
what?
X-Bone, as I've been seeing it called.
We'll save the X-Bone for next week once we've had a chance to do research. And Paul has internet.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't really do much. I mean, they didn't talk about games.
TV, sports,
but then again,
sports, TV.
That's
I
because
think that covers it. Yeah.
Well, that's because E3 is in less than a month. And they figure that's where they're going to be showcasing their games. This was just to get, all the non-gaming stuff out of the way. Reveal the console, talk about its hardware.
Piss poor move the way they did it because, somebody made a clip where it just cut all the times they said TV and all the times they said Call of Duty and all the times they said sports, and it's like a 5-minute fucking clip.
The upgrades to the Kinect, I think are going to be pretty interesting.
Now, didn't they say the Kinect is required?
Well, it comes with it. It comes with the Kinect,
and it's always on.
Yeah,
and it's
always looking at you.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure there'll
Big
be
Brother's watching, kids. Yeah, friggin' quilt thrown over the thing. Your TV, your Xbox is going to be like your parrot. You have to put a sheet over it at night.
I'm pretty sure someone... So I've already heard talk about...
let's do it right here. No, the Xbox is watching.
Someone making a hat for the Kinect that you put over it, so it can't see anything.
Oh, so it's like Team Fortress 2.
I'm like, with 3D printing, someone could just, make a bunch of those and sell them.
Yeah, that's true. That'd be pretty cool.
But, I've also seen a lot of flame wars between Xbox and PlayStation fanboys.
And I don't care. They can all go
like monkeys
themselves.
Hurling a bunch of feces at each other because...
I haven't had my PS3 long enough for me to give a crap about the PS4.
Well, no, it's... I don't know about that. You've had a PS3 for a while.
Yeah, but I'm still using it.
But you're not a fanboy.
Used to be. You remember when I bought the PlayStation the first week it came out?
Jumping Flash.
Yes, I spent like $500 on PlayStation crap.
Yeah. But anyway, the point is that they're hurling, back and forth about, our console's better, no, our console's... Your console's crap. Actually, it's more of like, your console's crap, no, because of this. Until it actually launches, no one's going to know for sure which one.
And meanwhile, we sit back and play on our PCs.
Yeah. And hardware-wise, they're so close that, the difference between...
I feel like a threatened species, to be honest.
The difference between...
PC gamer?
Okay, and there's another thing I do want to say about the one, but between the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, the hardware gulf is like much wider than it is between the 4 and the PS4 and the 1. They're both run almost exactly the same processor and graphics core.
What? You're saying the PS1 and the PS4 are going to run...
No, the PS4 and the Xbox One.
The Xbox One and the PS4.
I was like, what the fuck?
Well, that's the other thing I want to talk about.
Great, I can play Space Griffin again.
But the Xbox One name is retarded. Because, okay, so you had the original Xbox that went against the PS2. And then the PS3 comes along, and I'm guessing they called it the 360 to have name parity. Since it's not actually the Xbox 3, they wanted a 3 in there, so they had...
We're turning you all the way around.
So,
back where it started.
Because you think about it, PS3, Xbox 360, they're like, okay, those are equivalent.
Yeah, I remember everybody thought it was going to be the Xbox 720.
But then there's the...
Skateboarding!
Yeah, the Ollie.
There's the PS4 and then the Xbox One.
It's a reboot.
Yeah.
By J.J. Abrams, and it's going to be covered in lens flare.
Makes no fucking sense.
Sure it does. It's going to be covered in lens flare.
As we have just demonstrated, talking about it, people are going to get confused.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've heard people refer to the original Xbox as the Xbox One before. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's about time to end this puppy. So why don't we have some closing thoughts before we leave, Paul?
Okay, let's see. Closing thoughts. If anybody from Comcast is listening to this podcast should be up sometime tomorrow between 1 and 4.
Mike?
That everyone's crazy, I guess, is the theme of my topics.
Sure. Warren?
My name is Warren. I go by Calypse on the internet, and you can visit my Tumblr at Calypse, spelled like apocalypse, but without the rest of it. .tumblr.com.
Wherever you're listening to, there is probably going to be a link down there somewhere.
Yeah.
Look to
there.
the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Look down, motherfucker.
Yeah. And Kevin?
And I'm Kevin Heyman. You can read my comics at sweatshopstudios.net. And I guess my closing thought is dentistry is the only legal form of torture there is.
It's
So,
not the only one.
come on, Steph.
This is the
theme song.
I don't know.
Oh,
there's still Justin Bieber.
Okay, fair enough. But nonetheless, that's it for this week. We'll see you next week with some form of a podcast. So until
I thought
then...
you were going to say apology.
That too.
Okay, sure, an apology as well. But until then, we have been the Super Mega Awesome Group, and we will see you next week. Bye!
Remember to eat your smag.
Disgusting. This has been the SMAGcast. If you have any thoughts or questions, you can reach us at thesmagcast@gmail.com. Our theme music is Out of School by Jazar from the album Traveler's Guide, available from freemusicarchive.org and used under Creative Commons license.